844-9711.
See, that's why I was not supposed to play in this.
West End and Independence and Cape. Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings, etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings, etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings, etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 69-cent rib tips on Tuesday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent boneless wings on Thursday. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi and a full-service bar and craft beer. Wings, etc. The definition of a sports bar.
It's the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings, etc. in Jackson. Thanks to Coach Korn. We'll talk more with him coming up in just a few minutes about the Belmont Bruins, who are off to a 10-1 start. They are riding a 7-game winning streak, and that's who the Red Hawks are going to play on Thursday. And by the way, that game has been moved. It was originally scheduled for 7 o'clock. It has been moved to 6 o'clock now. So the game against Belmont will be a 6 p.m. tip-off from the Curve Event Center in Nashville. Let's welcome in DQ Nicholas, Red Hawks guard, who, did you need to ice your arm after shooting 19 free throws the other night?
I iced my shoulders a little bit the next day.
So how many times do you think you hit the floor in that game?
I don't even know. It was a lot. I don't know.
I know people say you're 20 years old, so I'm sure some people say, well, he's only 20. He can bounce back from that. I mean, it's not – even at 20 years old, you wake up sore the next day after games like that, right?
Definitely. It was kind of hard for me to get some good sleep after that game just because of how sore I was. So the next day I just got ice, and now I'm feeling better.
So how tough is it sometimes to go to sleep after a game where your adrenaline is going 1,000 miles an hour? Are you one of those people that can fall right to sleep? Because I've been on, plenty of bus trips over the years, and sometimes some of these basketball players, they're out before we hit the city limits. They're sleeping on the bus. How are you?
Usually I'm able to fall right asleep, like on the bus rides back. On the way home, I'm right out. But for some reason after that game, it was just hard for me to go to sleep. I was tossing and turning. I was just so sore everywhere.
How tough was it in the basketball game when you're trying to stay with their point guard, Freeman? Now, he ended up fouling out of bounds, but, boy, he looks like he's got to be one of the quicker guys in the league.
Yeah, he was pretty quick. He has a pretty good handle on the ball. But I just stayed locked in. I knew what I had to do in order for me to contain him, just stay in front of him because he's one of their leading scorers and one of their best players. So I just stayed locked in and guarded him.
Boy, he is their top player, 16 per game, and he ends up fouling out after 26 minutes with only 7 points in the basketball game and 7 turnovers, and you're responsible for a lot of that.
Yes, sir. Just locked in.
Yep, and so when you watch a guy on film, okay, you're watching film and okay, this is probably the guy or a couple of guys that I'm going to be dealing with the most. Mm-hmm. Do you ever watch someone on film and then when you get on the floor with them, boy, he didn't look this quick on video?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I can go back to when we played Evansville, the point guard from Evansville. He was pretty fast. Like on film, it looked fast, but in person, he was like way faster. It was tough, but it's all about just preparing for the game. When you watch film on players, you're gonna be guarding. Just watch their tendencies, look what they like to do the most, and what they're not so good at. So in the game, you try to force them to do what they're not so good at, so they have a hard time against you.
So you guys have had some very close games, 3 overtime games, and then the game against UT Martin where they hit it at the buzzer. So you've been in these really tight games. Any doubt in your mind Saturday night you guys were going to find a way to win that game?
Not really. It was tough, like down to the wire. We were down 9, like with 2 minutes to go. But we just kept our composure as a team. We've been in those situations before, like you said. For me, we like just a battle-tested team. Like I knew it was gonna come down to the wire, be a dogfight, because they were coming in 0-2, 0-3. Were they 0-3?
I think they were 0-2.
0-2, and
no, they were 0-3.
0-3.
They were 0-3.
We were 0-2, so. both of us were hungry for a win, you know. So I just knew it was going to come down to that. We just got to keep your composure and keep fighting.
And Austin Peay's a good team. They played Austin Peay tough in their previous game. So you finished with 21 points, 2 of 10 shooting from the field. What's interesting is you'll have nights where, man, I'm doing everything the same way. It's feeling good coming out of my hands, but it may not be going in. But, man, 17 of 19 from the free throw line. You ever have any games like that in prep school or high school?
In high school, I got to the line a lot of times. Prep school, about the same, but I've never shot that many free throws, though. 17, that's a lot of free throws.
That is a lot of free throws.
I didn't know I shot that many. After the game, Coach Pitt came to me and said, you hit 17 free throws. And I was like, damn, like, that's a lot.
That's getting it done.
That's all my points, really, so, you know. I mean, but it helped us, though, so we take it.
Boy, you've really done a lot of winning in your basketball career. You won a state title at Meadow Creek High School in the highest classification in the state of Georgia, man. You were playing some big schools.
Yeah, it was tough. We had a pretty good region. I had a good team, like a good team around me, so we had good coaches. They just coached us well. We all played hard. We just came out on top at the end of the season. You know, it was hard work and dedication.
How many D1 guys were on your high school team?
My senior, it was 4 of us. Yeah.
You can see why you won a state championship.
Yes,
you got Division I talent. So you also go to prep school and play in a national championship game. What was that like?
It was crazy. We actually played 2 games that day, the game before the championship game. So it was kind of tough. The first game, it was a close game. You know, we were all banged up after the game. We only had a couple hours to rest before the next game, coming in playing like the top team in the country. So it was a good experience. Unfortunately, we didn't come out on top, but it was definitely a good experience. Something I'm always live with.
And you had a good game, 13 points, 6 assists in that game.
Shit. I gotta do what I gotta do. Tell my team win. Whatever I gotta do, I just go out there and try to help us win.
Okay, now you got to give us the story behind DQ.
DQ.
How did you get the MO of DQ?
In first grade, one of my teachers, she just started calling me that, and it just stuck with me. And then over time, like whenever I went to a new school, I would just tell people to call me DQ, or one of my coaches, when I moved to Georgia from Minnesota, he said my name. He asked my name. I told him my name, and he said it was kind of long. Do I have a nickname? I said, call me DQ,
and that was it.
So everybody just called me DQ.
So we need to get you an endorsement deal with Dairy Queen here.
That would be great. I always talk about it, you know. So
I mean, they're allowing endorsement deals now, right? Brady Barkey's the athletics director. I think you're allowed to do some endorsements now. The NCAA has become a little less of a stickler. We need to work on that one. So you get ready to go play the Belmont Bruins on Thursday night. How much have you had chance to watch any film on Belmont? I'm sure you know they've been a perennial power in this league, and they're off to the best start so far in the conference.
I haven't got to watch any film on them yet, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna do real soon here. I've seen them play a couple of times, though. They're a pretty good team. We just got to prepare and go in there doing what we know we can do. We got to trust our coaches and trust each other and just play, be the toughest team.
How much smack talk was going on during that Tennessee State game?
It wasn't as much as last year. Last year it was way more. This year it was kind of, it was a little bit, but I wasn't really paying no mind to it. I was just out there playing.
Do you play against guys who try to get in your head?
Sometimes. A lot of times, actually. They try to do that, but like I said, you just got to keep your composure. Usually when you don't respond to them, they don't really keep it going. But if you respond to it, going back and forth, then it's going to be one of those games. But for me, I just try to stay with myself and with my team, just stay focused.
So you don't engage in the smack talk?
Not as much.
Who's a good smack talker on SEMO's roster?
I would say Nana or like Eric Reed, and then Manny, like Coach said, Manny, for sure.
Manny, man, he's a guy that if you're in an alley at late at night, that's a guy you want with you, Manny Patterson, right?
Definitely, man. He's huge, and usually when people see him, they don't want nothing to do with him. That's what Manny does.
He's a big cat. So if you went out and played a game of horse right now with anyone on the roster, who wins at horse on this team?
Sure. That's a good question. Could I say me?
There, you can say you. Absolutely.
I'm pretty confident I'll win that horse. I can hit some crazy shots,
Now, that last play at the end of regulation, Coach was a little concerned that maybe there had been some contact on your shooting arm. Take us through that last play. How did that go?
I was bringing the ball down the court on the left side. I was going for a shot, and I couldn't get it up, so I think I got fouled, but the ref didn't call it. But he hit my hand. I didn't even get my shot up, so, Coach was mad. But after that, they didn't call it. I knew they weren't going to look at it or anything, so from that point, I was just we going to overtime. We got to just, stay locked in and try to win this thing.
Let it go, right?
Let it go, yeah.
All right. When you play against Nana, you ever get your shot blocked in practice?
He's
a pretty good shot blocker.
He is, but I don't really get my shot blocked in practice like that. But Nana's definitely a good shot blocker. He's a good defender. He's really athletic. We need him out there all the time on the court when we need some stops. You can count on Nana all the time.
All right. Who's got the best vertical leap on the team?
E. Reed has a pretty good vert. Nana definitely does.
What's yours?
I do. Last year we tested it. It was 50, but I didn't get to test this year because my ankle was kind of messed up in the beginning before the season started. But mine was 50 last year.
Okay. Now, does anyone on the team say that theirs is better than 50?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
So you got the best vert.
Yeah, probably still.
All right. As we get what were your initial thoughts, though, after you found a way to pull that game out the other night? Because you guys, man, you've had some tough losses so far this year, but winning that game, what did that feel like?
It was great. We needed it. I knew everybody was going to feel, obviously everybody felt great after the win. We needed it. The games before, they were close. We've been in overtime games before, so us getting that one, it just meant a lot. Like Coach Korn said, we grew, and that was the most important thing, and now it's just time to just carry over and keep going from this point on.
All right.
Keep taking steps forward.
We're going to spend some time in Nashville. It's always a fun time to go there, and it'll be Thursday at Belmont and then Saturday at Tennessee State. So you were in Nashville last year. What are your thoughts on Nashville?
It's a cool city. It's nice. We was out there. We played against Lipscomb. We were just there weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's a cool city.
All right. What'd you have for lunch?
I can't even remember. I think we had barbecue or something, but I can't really remember.
No, I mean, what did you have for lunch before you came here?
Oh, I just had some barbecue wings and some fries.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Barbecue's the flavor then. They've got all kinds.
That's all I get every time.
Every time. So it's a go-to then.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
DQ, we appreciate the time, and we will see you in Music City come Thursday, all right?
Thank you for having me.
All right. DQ Nicholas. We'll take a timeout, talk about the Red Hawks' opponent coming up on Thursday, the Belmont Bruins. Coach Korn rejoins us here on the Wings Etc. Red Hawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
Deal of the week, calling all you pizza lovers. Listen.
We'll still have a terrific coaches show for you coming up next Monday, but again, we'll be back over in the Cape Girardeau location. Coach Brad Korn rejoins us, and the Belmont Bruins, a team that is off to a 10-1 start, riding a 7-game winning streak. What do you see when you watch them on film? I know they do a few things maybe a little different than when Rick Byrd was the coach there, but you're gonna see a team that can shoot the basketball.
Yeah, they can shoot it. The thing that probably stands out more than anything is they're so solid all facets of the game. You know, they take care of the basketball. They get good shots. They've got good post players. They cut offensively. They move the ball. They make you beat them from the outside defensively. They'll mix in some zones. So they're just an all-around good program. And I told the guys today, and after the shooting in the morning, it's like we don't have to get every answer on the test right, but you do have to get an A on the test in order to beat them. And so you don't have to play a perfect game, but you have to play your A game if you're going to beat a team like that, especially on the road.
What did you see? Because Samford beat them, and they beat them in Nashville, and they don't ever lose at home, especially in conference play very often. But this was a non-conference game against Samford, beat them double digits at Belmont. And Samford is a team that would go on to lose to Alabama A&M. So, yeah. I mean, did Samford just have a great night that night?
A little bit of that, and Belmont had dealt with some COVID issues heading into that. So
makes sense.
You never know what their team. We talked about a little bit just about rosters, and you never know who was out. I'd have to go back and actually dissect the box score a little bit to find out who actually was playing or didn't play, or maybe a guy like Lipscomb. I know that they had one of their top guys was out against us. So it's just you never know like what that's going to quite look like. And then at their place, Lipscomb had a guy that just came back that day against us at their place, and he had a huge corner three. So you never really know, and I think that was a little bit of the situation because talking with Coach Alexander up to that point in the preseason, they had some shutdowns and things like that. So I think that was probably part of it.
NCAA announced today, it had been rumored for a while, but it's official. The NCAA men's basketball tournament is going to be in the state of Indiana. They're even going to play at Lucas Oil Field, and they'll play at various venues, around the Indianapolis area. What are your thoughts on that?
I honestly, let's have the tournament. As long as we're having the tournament, as long as it's done in a safe and effective way for all parties involved, then I think that's obviously the ultimate goal, to execute that and to get that in, because we did miss it a year ago. Even though it may look different and it's going to look different, at least those players will have that opportunity. I know that's something I'll always remember every tournament experience, and it's something that you just don't get to do. And so the kids that have earned the right to be there, to able to have that experience, although it may be a little bit different, I think as long as we can do it in a safe and effective manner, then by all means, let's do it.
I was talking before the show in reference to Belmont. What they did a lot with Rick Byrd, obviously shoot the three, but they will backdoor you to death if you let them. And I guess they did a lot of that against Murray State on Saturday.
Yeah, and great post player, as we've talked about before, and he can kind of control things. He'll grab the ball in just one hand, how you see some of the pros do, and he just whips that thing across. So now you're coming on post traps, and they've got shooters over there. Well, now you overdo the shooting, and then now they're back cutting you. So again, it's just you have to be prepared for all those things, and you've got to be as locked in as you've ever been, because against them, if they go on a 6-0 run, 8-0 run, it's going to be too hard to recover, especially on the road. So you've got to be ready for all facets of the basketball game.
Boy, they moved it from 7 to 6 o'clock. I'm sure you probably like that.
Yeah, I guess we're going to be there anyway. And then we played at 8 o'clock at Tennessee Tech, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of starting games at 8 o'clock. Are you?
No. Especially during break and during a COVID season, I didn't quite get that. And a 5-hour bus ride back didn't help either.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. I know they have to put 3 hours in between games for double headers because of COVID, but you just get the women's game started a little earlier, right?
Yeah, and for whatever reasons, I guess now that I finally won a game in OVC, maybe I can say something. But until then, I was just going to keep my mouth shut.
All right. Coach, we appreciate so much the time. 6 o'clock Thursday at Belmont, and then it'll be I believe, a 4 o'clock game against Tennessee State. You got to like that. They moved those games 1 and 4 on Saturday at TSU.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to be a battle. I mean, this is a great week for us, and then we follow back with Monday, and then Murray P coming in after that. So it's big couple of weeks for our program.
Going to be a big stretch here. Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks also to DQ Nicholas, who joined us earlier, and we'll see you in Nashville on Thursday.
All right, you got it, Eric. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Brad Korn, and that is going to do it for the Red Hawks Coaches Show. We've got the Max Kellerman Show coming up here on ESPN Radio. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. For a final time, we say so long from Wings Etc. in Jackson.